It's time that the American people stop depending on the mainstream media and start reading things for themselves and educating themselves. Because there's just one of me, and unfortunately, not that many reporters care to tell the truth about this and read those transcripts. So I'm just calling on citizen reporters and all of you in the crowd today, read those transcripts and try to get down to that courtroom and watch. Okay?
The Bible is very clear, and it says that we must speak truth. I got sued. I lost my company, and I don't care. I liken it to the sacrifice that was made by Jesus. He walks for 2 miles carrying a cross to a death that he could have stopped, but he didn't. The January 6th prisoners are our brothers and sisters. The people that are in prison, they're our family, they're our children. What they're doing across this nation has very little to do with American values or democracy. It's the degradation and the destruction of everything we stand for as a nation. It spits on the sacrifice of all those that gave their life or were willing to give their life serving this nation in order to preserve freedom.
The last scream of Roseanne Boyland and the heartbreaking cries for help from her friend Justin Winchell still haunt these men who were witnesses to 2-handed overhead blows with a blunt object to the head and neck of a woman who was laying on the ground. The woman police officer beat Roseanne Boyland in a rage with blows to the head while she was passed out on the ground. Let me read to you Justin's cries as captured on body cam video. There are people trapped. Someone's being crushed. Get her up, please. Save her life. Please stop pepper spraying. Please get her up. She's gonna die. She's gonna die. She's gonna die. She's gonna die. She's dead. She's dead. She's dead. My God, she's dead. Rose, I need somebody. She's dead. I need somebody. I need medics.
My name is Sherry. I'm a combat veteran, and I'm out here standing in solidarity with the J6 defendants because they are being unjustly, uncivilly, and unconstitutionally held for trying to stand up for a fair election. We are standing in solidarity with them and trying to open America's eyes to the unjust treatment that they're receiving. God bless you.
The seditious conspiracy charges launched against the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers are all part of a bigger agenda. Obviously, everybody here knows with any common sense that they were not trying to overtake the government that day. They were not trying to take over the government with a bunch of beer cans and I don't know, go into Congress and all of a sudden become the legislature. It's completely ridiculous, these charges that are being launched against them. The Oath Keepers walked in, they walked out peacefully, okay? They're being charged with seditious conspiracy, which holds a 20-year penalty. Before the election, they're going to trial. The Proud Boys, the same thing. They need groups of people, and I'm going to try to explain this as briefly as I can. It's just so important that people understand. They need to charge groups of people so that they could say that there was a conspiracy, so that they could tie it to Donald Trump, so they could keep him at office. They don't care what regular people that have families and that have children, they knock down in the way. They don't care if these people are rotting away in solitary confinement. Many of them have committed suicide. They're just pawns, and they're collateral damage. So the agenda is this: prove a conspiracy, get people found guilty for seditious conspiracy, tie it to the Oath Keepers, and then the Proud Boys, present it to the January 6th committee, brainwash the nation into thinking these people conspired, and then somehow tie it to President Trump, who had literally nothing to do with any of this, and prevent him from running for office again.
I would truly like to thank every single live streamer that shows up every single night to the DC Gulag. Our viewers from our live streamers, who are amazing activists and actually brought an investigation into Lieutenant Lancaster. God bless you. Thank you, all of you. And standing outside the DC Gulag every night, you learn things. You learn that CTF, correctional facility guards, will assault you. They'll assault your live streamers with witnesses, and then they will arrest you. And then they will collude with the Metropolitan Police to twist the facts. Thank you, Josh, for taking one for the team. God bless you. Every single congressman should now know these four people were murdered. Now you know. Report these murders. We don't only have accusations, we have video proof. Video proof, Leila Morris, we're coming for you. TikTok. That's right. That's right. Michael Byrd, your days are numbered. Your days are numbered. You should have been fired when you left your loaded weapon in a public restroom. You should have been fired for your excessive use of force prior history. Where's the investigation? Because I tell you what, there was none. My daughter was mopped up like a piece of trash and business was went on with. I sit in these courtrooms every day and hear how these men disrupted a political proceeding. You know what? Not even the death of my daughter interrupted that. I've seen the judges in these cases. These men are up against astronomical odds. This city is named as a defendant. How the hell do you get a fair trial in a city where every single person is named as a defendant? Every single person. This city is the defendant. This city is toxic. Toxic. And we have judges standing up there and saying these men are everybody there was the antithesis of a patriot that day. Well, how do they know? Because listening to these judges talk, they don't know things they should know.
There's not enough attorneys. There's not enough staff. There's not enough investigators out there. So think about all the different people you heard speak today. Think about their websites, think about the causes that they take up, and think about what they do. Look them up, encourage people. Remember, the truth is going to come out on a lot of these cases, but people have to put up the fight.
If you're listening, call me, brother. I haven't talked to you. Edward Jacob Lang is a hero. He has 2 signed affidavits from my friend Philip, right there. Edward Jacob Lang saved Philip's life. A signed affidavit means it's paperwork in court that will hold up. And if it's a lie, there's a crime called perjury. He signed an affidavit saying Edward Jacob Lang saved his life that day. And another guy did. What's the other guy's name? Anyway, Edward Jacob Lang calls me and he tells me, and I'm out here free, and he says he's doing 500 burpees in his cell. The burpees like this push-up thing that I can't really do very well. And he's just, our Father in heaven has his hands on many people, and I'm convinced Edward Jacob Lang and others, because I was peeling paint, and I'm driving down the street free, and Edward Jacob Lang calls me from his jail cell, and we chat, and some of these chats I've recorded, some I haven't, but it's just a pleasure to speak with him. And he is spending how many hours a day in a cell and all the other things. So Ned and all the organizers of this event, Kara Casanova, some others, I just met a lot of you guys the first time today, so it's great to meet some of you. I'm honored to be sharing a stage to get the truth out, especially January 6th, okay?
Thank you all for coming, and please give it up for Ned Lang.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen. Thank you all for coming, and thanks for standing strong and not getting involved in all this craziness around us, because we are the real America. We don't need that stuff on the side. Let them do their own thing, because that's not who we are. It's not what we are. That's not how we act. Now let's talk about what we do and how we do act and how we do push back because of what's going on in our prisons, because of what's going on with the FBI harming people, about the home invasions. You know, in just a few years ago, the government of Washington, D.C. has agreed to pay $1.6 million in a settlement for a class action lawsuit. Guess why? American Civil Liberties Union said that the Capitol Police were rounding up people and arresting hundreds of nonviolent protesters, as well as deploying pepper spray and other explosive devices in response to a few minor incidents of vandalism. They paid $1.6 million for a class action lawsuit. Our guys are getting beaten in jail. We got Ryan Samuelson, lost the sight of his eye, all kind of medical issues. You got Scott Fairlam. You've got Jake Lang, my son, getting punched and maced and not being allowed any medical attention for a long time. April spoke about all the other egregious issues. Brian Mock, my man John Mellis, her boyfriend, God bless him. Ronald Maccabee just beaten up the other day by a guard because he simply wasn't wearing a mask, and the guard came over and maced him, put him in handcuffs, and then maced him again, and had that stuff on his body for 30 hours. That is unbelievable. So what I say to you today is this. I'm saying to you, to the people of the administration of the DC Gulag, I'm saying to the DC police and their captains and what they've done on J6 and all the people they've harmed. I'm talking to the Alexandria Detention Center folks who are supposed to be running a prison that stands up for the people, by the people, with the people, and protects the people in their custody. You all are harming our people. You're harming our patriots. So let me put this out there. I am putting up $50,000 to hire a law firm that will come and file class action lawsuits against these bastards. I want it out there. It's going to be on our website. It's going to be on social media. Usually they don't need $50,000 to get involved because of all this egregious actions and activities. And as Donald Trump said, by God, we're not just going to win big, we're going to win bigly. And I love that, bigly, baby. So I will be made whole when this thing is done, but if we need to sweeten the pot, we will sweeten the pot. So I want every class action lawsuit lawyer out there to know that today there's a $50,000 starting bonus to start a class action lawsuit against these bastards who are not they're hurting our people, they're hurting our patriots, they're hurting our family, and they're committing crimes themselves, and they don't care. It's done. It's over. So that's what I'm going to leave you with as far as thank you very much for coming. It's an honor and privilege to represent and help out every J6 patriot and their family. God bless you all. I'm going to turn it back over to Kara, and let's see what we can do with this lawsuit. We're gonna definitely raise some eyebrows, and maybe these guys will actually get some medical attention, and they'll start paying attention to our guys. Love you all.
Okay, well, I'm Kathy Chamberlain, and I'm the campaign commander for Jeremy Brown. Jeremy is a 20-year Green Beret who has been awarded the Bronze Star twice and has been deployed 4 times on our behalf. And Jeremy went public back in March of 2021 because the FBI tried to recruit him to become a spy against the American people. And being the patriot that he is, he absolutely refused to do that. But in addition to that, because of his training with the Special Forces, he knew enough to record the FBI as they were recruiting him. So he has that tape, and after Christopher Wray went in front of Congress and testified that the FBI doesn't use infiltrators in events like these, that just sent Jeremy the wrong way. And he said, that's it, I have to get the truth out. And he did, big time. And he started going on podcasts all over the place. In the summer of 2021, he came on my podcast. I'm a writer, a speaker, as well as an activist. And when I heard his story, I met him in June of 2021 on my own podcast. And so after that, I just had so much respect and admiration for the man that I followed him really closely and found out that in September 30th of last year, he was arrested by the FBI to silence him. There is no other reason for that, folks. Yes, he was in D.C. No, he didn't go in the Capitol. He was security detail for a speaker there.
I believe that these men who are being held, they are being held unjustly. It doesn't matter if you agree with what they did on January the 6th or not. They had a right to protest, and they have a right to due process. They're not just being held unjustly, they're being tortured in some cases. And it's just not right, and I wanted to be here to support them and their families and see if I could find an opportunity to minister. It's all about Jesus, always. So,
where'd you come from?
Alabama.
Just for this event?
Yeah, I'm going to stay here for a few days and go to the vigils at the jail at night.
I thought today was a good rally. We had some counter-protesters, and also, you know, this is America. They have a right to be out here as well. I appreciate the police keeping them separate from us, and us separate from them for the most part.
Can you tell me how you're feeling about the big
Well, I think that, I think our government is corrupt. I think it's time for our Republicans to stand up for our people that stood up for them. I think it's time to let these men have a voice. I feel like we don't have to support what they were there protesting that day, but you have to support the American right to protest. And America doesn't seem to be supporting that. These men have not had, they've been in pretrial detention, which means they've not been convicted of a crime. They're in pretrial detention for 625 days. 625 days without a proper investigation into my daughter's public murder. 625 days American patriots being denied their constitutional right to a speedy trial. And I think it's about time that we launch an investigation into the Capitol Police who behaved arrestably that day.
Is there anything you'd like people to know that nobody's speaking about, whether it's media, government, or just in general?
The fact that every single person in this country is entitled to their constitutional rights, and if not every single person is entitled to those rights, then no one is, so it might be you next. That's something to keep in mind. This was a group of 2 million people that is being persecuted. Joe Biden in his speech alone said, 31 times how every single Trump supporter is a threat to this country. I don't believe that's true. I believe that's libelous, and I think the President of the United States should know better than to say those divisive things when he ran on a platform of uniting people.
Keep walking, Olive Oil.
You just touched me! This man assaulted me! Liar! 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 Liar!
22 hours a day in a cell. You get 2 hours out. You want to call your family, you want to take a shower.
Restoration movement! Fuck you, Randy Ireland! Fuck you, Kara! Fuck Ashley Babbitt! Fuck Justin Johnson!
You're raising money for prison. Raising money for prison. Move out of the way.
She's assaulting me. She's not. She literally just pushed me.
Uh-oh, Adderall Princess has got assaulted. Adderall Princess. Back up. She was that close. USA! USA! USA!